Hi, this is Patrick Tucker, Science and Technology Editor for Defense One. Thanks so much for joining us for this special broadcast. I'm joined today by Captain Max Maslii, Deputy Chief of Staff for the 96th Anti-Aircraft Missile Brigade with the Ukrainian Air Force. Max, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So, Max, I can call you Max.
Sure.
Is vital to the effort to protect Ukraine from Russian drones, from Russian missile attacks, which means protecting not only Ukraine, but protecting all of Europe and indirectly protecting the United States too, because the same Shahed drones that the United States is now wrestling with in the Red Sea are the same things that the Ukrainian military has been contending with since 2003. You also help contribute to the training of U.S. forces on counter-drone warfare. Last year, there were 50,000 Shahed attacks against Ukraine, and Ukraine intercepts between 85 to 90% of them on average, and does so using interceptors that are a fraction of the cost of what the United States is using in the Red Sea, and even less expensive than the Shahed drones themselves, which are about $30,000 to $40,000. Can you tell us a little bit on a practical level? What does the United States military and the Ukrainian military, how do you help soldiers, in particular at the army level, understand how they need to change to deal with these threats?
Thank you for the question. It's a very good question. And first of all, I do share your perception of what is going on, because from my personal view, we're fighting same fight, because from one side is our Western world civilization, and from the other side we have this X of evil. It's Russia, Iran, and some other countries which are fighting against us. So we do see same means like in aerial threats from their side, and tools that we use to protect and defend our world on the other side. So it's exactly how I see that. Ukraine was always open to pay back, probably a bad word for that, but to respect and show gratitude for all the help that you guys have provided to us. All the Western allies, of course, United States was as a country, biggest of them, and we proposed help and everything that we could support you with through the years. What happened in Iran probably showed some additional interest in American society, and American people are just put a little more attention to that matter. But Ukraine was always like, guys, warfare changed. We have drones. We have different drones, different class, from small like 7-inch, 10-inch and up to Shaheds. And it takes a long time to learn how to deal with that.
Yeah.
And it took us a long time. We did a lot of mistakes. We lost a lot of people, which is awful. We lost systems. We lost territories to this. But today we find a lot of solutions to many different problems, which we are gladly sharing with all the Western civilization. So I think that Ukraine's help can hardly be measured in like a lot of people being sent as a part and act as a part of joint forces somewhere, because we are in war, and that's hard for us to do. But as our president mentioned, there are a couple of hundreds of our guys were sent to Middle East by request of different countries to help. And as you well know, U.S. soldiers are there, so we're helping to save American lives at this moment of time. Then we are much more flexible and capable in helping with sharing technology and best practices. And as our production lines are very flexible and scalable, we can also share equipment, drones, interceptor drones, and the other kind of drones. So that's actually how I see our help can be done. And the training is like, it includes couple of components. First is to use equipment, meaning drone, and second is how to build command and control system, which takes longer rather than just learn how to launch the drone. So those command and control systems, which we have plenty of, which some of them are analyzing data from the past to understand what we need to do, how to increase our defense design, how to make it better. Others are used during the combat time. So those trainings can be conducted, and we have plenty of very, very talented people who joined the army for protecting their country, who came from engineering background, business background, training background. So our army is very unique at this moment of time, and we happy to provide any training and help.
I think when I look at when I talk to Ukrainian operators, that's one of the things that always strikes me and sort of reminds me of the founding story of America. There are men and women, there are software entrepreneurs, there are teachers, there are mothers, there are nurses that get up and put on boots and then go and create something in order to protect themselves and really protect all of Europe from an autocratic foe. And, that's bombs bursting in air. I don't know if you ever heard that song, but that's what it looks like. It's pretty much this. But I want to go back to the training information that you're sharing. I talked to folks that were recently in Germany for the 10th United States Army 10th Air and Missile Defense Command, and they say that you guys give them updates on a daily basis of like how to actually think about these things. So this is whatever you see in the headlines. There is daily exchanges between the Ukrainian military and the U.S. military on best practices for this new type of warfare. How do you find U.S. Military officers, U.S. military leadership in terms of their willingness to engage with you on these things and their how receptive they are to the lessons that you have to bring?
Yeah, so there is a communication on a very close basis. For a number of matters, it is only about the new introduced warfare, talking about drones, but also about experience with the systems that we use. That how they perform, how they perform with evolving threats, how they perform in our climate, and so on. So there are many levels, but talking in general, they're very, very open and eager to see what we do. And after being a couple of days here in Washington and meeting a lot of people, I just got even more assurance that U.S. militaries are very, very open to see what we do. They really asking a lot of questions. They're truly trying to understand what we do. But it takes some time because the United States is a very big country. United States Army is a very big organization.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of time, I think, for different groups of people build their own perception. They try to talk with many of Ukrainian guys to understand as much as they can, looking at the situation from different angles, what happens on the front line, what happens on the depths of the territory of Ukraine. And I think that we are speeding up in that process, that my feeling that we are getting up to speed, and all these groups of people will soon hopefully come to some initial vision, because we are still at the middle of the race. It's not that like you can take what we have in Ukraine today and say, hey, we will live this forever. It's not. And every couple of months, us and our enemy, both sides introduce some updates, some new things from technology perspective, tactic perspective. So I think that the race is not over yet. We will see new stuff coming out for next months and months. Until
I wanted to catch on that because it's very almost difficult for me to keep track of how rapidly there are new innovations that you're seeing on the battlefield, of the trends that you've watched over the past year in terms of what Russia is doing and that you can talk about, that Ukraine has responded. What are the most significant new technological trends in drone and counter-drone warfare that we should be attending to?
Talking about counter-drone, it's appearance of that counter-drone warfare, because it's very new. It's a little bit more than a year, but it's a very new thing, and it becomes more and more advanced. We have a lot of crews who operate like different models of drones. The beauty of Ukraine and strength of us that we have a lot of big companies, more than 50, 100 of different companies producing different drones.
Yeah.
So we really have a place for soldiers to choose what works the best.
Yeah.
And we also have decentralized procurement. So each brigade can buy whatever this brigade thinks is best for their battle. So it also helps to speed up the process of absorbing innovation into the military.
Yeah.
That's about the process. But on the technology side, I think that key things is that everybody are looking into having more autonomous machines.
Yeah.
Because so far we are very related and dependent of number of very experienced operators, because
Yeah.
they manually control the drone even on the terminal stage of the trajectory before interception.
Yeah.
As this with this number of threats being increased dramatically months over months, and complexity of threats, speed of threats being increased, we need to find a solution, because anyway, whatever you do, you have a limited number of human
Yeah.
capital
Yeah.
in your country. So I think that both sides are looking to how to build as much autonomous machine in both like offensive and defensive side.
Yeah.
But yet you can build it today.
Yeah.
It's less of a problem of whether you can do that, but the biggest challenge is how much does it cost.
Yeah.
So finding this balance and finding the solution when you can mass produce cheap but very smart and sophisticated machines, I think this is a challenge for all our civilization for next for the coming future.
Yeah, yeah. And one of the things that observers have noticed about the way Ukraine is now using drones is this comes from a very good paper out of Rusi. It's not just sort of throwing them at the adversary. There are now ground drones working with air drones, creating like a larger entire intelligence picture that they're able to share with one another. This is actually robot forward warfare, which is a thing that the world has never seen before. And the adversary is sort of doing the same thing. And from that paper, it becomes clear that what this does is imperil forces that are further away from the front line, your long-range fires, for instance, where they used to operate in a position that many thought was safe from fire. All of that is now in jeopardy because of what robotic warfare is doing to warfare. How do you think about ground robots and air robots working together and creating robot-first forward operations? What happens next there in the coming year or so?
I may be a little bit dreaming and looking far away, but with my background, which I had before joining the armed forces of Ukraine, I led a software and technology company for 18 years. So I have a little clue about how technology is being developed over these past few decades. So I think that I'll talk more about aerial threats, because ground I do have some understanding, but it's not my area of expertise.
Yeah.
And the big shift is to change the paradigm of the drone to be like executing humans' order to go to certain points, find a certain asset and try to hit it, to have a task and to have a mission to accomplish, and then to find for a more efficient way to accomplish this mission together with other machines around. That will be, as from my perspective, I cannot see anything which is behind that. I think when we reach that point, it will be kind of a still point when the only count will matter, as well as mass production count and how cheap you can produce this enormous count of drones. So I think this is the next step, and then they can talk on a ground-based drone and so on. But that will be a huge shift when our job will be to produce a lot of drones, to put them in a proper place, to take care about the systems that manage those drones, and just to turn them on.
Yeah, this is a concept that is now referred to as agentic warfare. So agentic AI, where an AI is able to actually achieve a mission after it It figures out a strategy, it can evaluate its own strategy, and then it's going to, in this case, take operator commands that might be very few, that might be coming from an operator that is under fire, turning those into an understanding of an objective, and then trying different solutions, understanding them, behaving sort of the way a human being would in pursuing a mission objective, but with, the capabilities of a drone in touch with other drones and AI at the center of it. Is this something that Ukraine is now, you're talking to people, they're working on this right now in Ukraine based on the actual data that's coming from the Ukrainian battlefield? They're understanding it now.
I know that we heavily work on implementing AI across the country, I would say, but especially armed forces. I think that it's really hard to know what's going on in armed forces for Ukraine in terms of innovation, because there's so many people in so many places doing so many things that I don't think that anyone really knows what is going today, but we see the trends.
Yeah.
And I would say that, I think it's safe to say that some guys are working on that.
Yeah. And the battlefield data that comes from your experiences in machine readable format, as there's many different companies trying things now, but this is the most important information about the future of warfare that really the world has ever seen. Is this something that informs and reinforms operations, strategies, investments all the time? Like, how do you use all of this information that you now have about how future drone warfare looks to change concepts, to change strategies for investment, etc.?
I think I can't get into much in detail because first of all, there are many things that I just don't know. Second of all, it's a little bit sensitive. But what I can share with you that we do have systems that are AI powered and that help analyze humans all past missions, and they collecting the data of years and years of engagement. That's true. It's what they called years ago big data. I'm trying to stay away from the technical terms because people say that I'm too technical sometimes, but I will try to keep the balance. But having all this data for years and years, it by itself, it's like a very expensive asset that not many nations are having today. I think there are two nations that do have, we and for my pity, Russians. But we have them, and we have systems that, first of all, help all the units to analyze what going on and what was going on in their zone of responsibility. So any even new guy who comes can just ask AI agent to just share what happened and what is statistic and how did it change over the time, and more or less quickly understand the uniqueness of this particular zone of responsibility, because they're very unique. You have different assets, you have different importance of these assets in eyes of our enemies. So that's what is already in place, and there is more stuff to come.
No, that is absolutely fascinating. Another area that is perhaps sensitive, not because it's classified, but because sometimes the U.S. military is sensitive emotionally, is the exercise, NATO-U.S. exercise, just a war game that occurred in Estonia in May, Hedgehog. And I've written about it, and other people have. I talked with the head of NATO Allied Transformation Command last week. He said he was very grateful that Ukraine participated, but basically Ukraine showed up and kind of kicked in this war game to help people get better, showed up and kicked NATO's butt a little bit, which is, he was very grateful that you did. But at the same time, what can you tell us about what specific gaps that you saw that the U.S. and NATO must now address if they're going to be as effective and proficient in new warfare as they need to be?
Talking about, it's about infantry, right? So I think that our troops and our brigades, the guys who are on the front line, they built a very unique like, structure of the units. So I heard a lot that many countries are talking about the need to have every single soldier like be operating drone during the battle.
Yeah.
I don't think this like can work because in our experience, and I'm not in it because I'm just doing some different stuff, but I hear a lot that it's more of a structure when infantry is being covered by trained guys who operate drones, and those guys take care about like other units. So it's actually tactical level air defense units, which are now important as never. Because of the number of threats, you can have hundreds of threats over the heads of the infantry, and it's not only like ISR drones, which can look at you from the distance of like 20 miles. And you need to take care about them. That was never happened before. So air defense becomes a very key to save soldiers' life, and soldier is the main person in the battlefield. So everybody needs to help them to accomplish the mission.
And one of the things we has been talked about is the way U.S. and NATO forces mass great big, World War II level, battalion things. This creates an enormous vulnerability, as we were talking about before. The places where you're massing that you think are safe from enemy fire in the era of drone warfare is no longer safe. So talk just a little bit about how that created exposure that now must be addressed and understood by NATO and U.S. forces.
Like, first of all, there's no more like groups more than 2-3 people in the battlefield.
Wow.
You don't have, and you prohibited to group more than few people on the battlefield. Then you, of course, heard about the kill zone.
Yes.
That's a drone where humans are not like not allowed to be. It's hard to survive in that zone. It's only drones like fighting with drones, and everybody, like, if you get there with the car or put a sensor, or it's been destroyed in a minutes. So, but you still need to have people there. So dig. That's the answer. Everywhere, like at the front line and the depths of the territory, dig. And use concrete. And not only for people, but for the critical infrastructure, for your air jets, for your air bases, dig and use concrete. That's an answer for many questions that currently are experienced by us.
And also, it sounds like every soldier, even ambulances now, need some sort of air defense. Air defense must be distributed across everybody, because everyone has a drone out there looking for them.
Yes, that's true. And the bad guys, I think, just we're talking about the war, but there are consequences of the war, that those technologies will be developed so high that today any kid can assemble a drone in a garage. And bad guys can do that too. And those drones can get, let's think about like ocean, right? Before that, your enemy had to take submarine and missiles on it, and you would see them. But today, any little ship can carry 10 Shahids or 20 Shahids. And there are a lot of ships. And Shahid's range is like 1,300 miles. So you can imagine how this changing the landscape of the national security when we're talking about United States. So that's a different play.
And final question, because you do have to go, but what you're seeing now in the Red Sea is Iranians adapting some of the same tactics that came from Russia. So there is a documented exchange of Russian intelligence with Iranians. It is the same enemy. They're sharing information. But also you see Iran now adopting those same tactics, you would say. Is that what you are seeing?
First of all, they admire that they share intelligence. That's a fact that everybody knows. We heard it from a very respectful people. And second of all, we see that they destroyed a NASAMS locator with the FPV drone. It's not even Shahid; it's an FPV drone. So they succeeded to do that. It's awful. They succeeded to destroy a helicopter. Right. Today we saw a footage from the very like cheap drone. Like you see that by the video, you see that how this flies, you see by trajectory, you see how the person who just navigating this drone is still not like a perfect expert in navigating drones, but it hit Merkava, like Israeli tank. So of course there's the same. And when once Ukrainian people, like military, is talking to US guys here, and it's not only me, not only my delegation, but other guys, Russians talk with Iranians. Like, be sure that there is no doubt for that.
Yeah, and that just reinforces it is the same war. Where it is the same war.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Max. I really appreciate you being here. Captain Max Maslii with the 92nd Air Defense Brigade, Ukrainian Air Force, and a guest today on our show. Thank you so much, and we want to get back in touch with you soon. Please be safe. Slava Ukraini.
Героям слава.
Yeah.
Thank you.